New month, new season, new episode on Perspectives with Gwen. Shot live at the backyard of Legacy Yard. If you haven't visited the place, I vouch that you please do. Beautiful music, beautiful location, beautiful people, everything is just beautiful. Hello everyone, welcome to yet another episode of Perspectives with Gwen. I'm very excited to share this episode with you. As you can see, we've got a new scenery and we've got another episode in a new month. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, leave your perspective on what we're going to be talking about today. So I've got trends. I've got trends that we normally now adopt and we normally just talk on without even realizing what impact are they having, or maybe what are we putting out there with these trends. So one trend is the cancel culture trend, right? So I'm seeing a lot of people just cancel culture. If something happens, someone does something that you're not happy with, if someone notable, someone familiar in the industry, it's just very common now to just cancel people off, right? And then there's also this other one where we're just like, I'm cutting people off. If someone is not serving me, or if this is not going to serve me or my desires, I'm just going to cut them off. If someone does something wrong to me, you're out. Right. So we're going to be talking about that and more today, right? Because I feel, are we becoming a cold generation in us trying to love ourselves more? What does self-love mean if I'm just going to cut people off, I'm just going to do what's best for me? Are we becoming more selfish with ourselves, with our gifts, with our offerings? You know, who's out there to serve someone else? I feel like we're becoming more and more just cold and selfish, and it's all about me, it's all about what serves me, it's all about what I want. And granted, that's a valid point, you know, that's granted. We all want something that's going to help us become a better version of ourselves. But at what expense? At what cost? You know, are we still to maintain the friendships that we have? If we continue in this trend, are we still to maintain family members, loved ones? Like, what relationship do you think is going to be sustainable in a generation that we are becoming, where it's just like, if I'm not happy at this point, if this is not serving me, cutting people off. Imagine you being cut off. And also there's this thing of someone saying, no, you don't have to let them know. You don't even have to notify them. Just block them. Imagine you are that person. You all of a sudden just being blocked. We were friends today. Tomorrow I've blocked you. You can't get a hold of me. You can't contact me. Like, what exactly are we trying to do? You know, what system are we adopting? And also, is it really who we are? Is it really the people that we want to be? Or we're just adopting trends without really thinking about it, and also considering the next person and considering if this was me. Like, imagine you being cancelled. Imagine you being cancelled because you said something that was taken out of context or something that was misunderstood. And also, not everyone is going to understand your message or what you're trying to say. So imagine the next day you're waking up and the Bluebird app has just decided to cancel you. I mean, you know. So I just want us to talk about that more today. So we've got some terms, you know, we've got terms that we use. So someone's saying, I just want to put myself first. It's a new year, I'm putting myself first, I'm doing me. What does that mean? What exactly do you mean when you say you're putting yourself first? Before who? Who are you putting yourself before? You're putting yourself first in terms of what? In what context? At what heart posture are you putting yourself first? And then there's boundaries, right? This one is more prominent. It's also becoming more and more prominent on social media, on Instagram. Boundaries, right? Boundaries are good, but boundaries are good if you're going to have them with the right heart, with the right intention, with the right mindset, and also you don't have selfish ambitions. Because in me having boundaries, I could be saying, okay, I don't want to let someone else come into my space. But is it coming from a selfish space? Is it coming from a selfish point of view? Or am I really putting in boundaries so that I can be more accessible, so that I can be more viable and more useful to everyone else? So I'm not just putting boundaries because I want to restrict people from reaching me and reaching my resources, or having access to what I have so that they can benefit and their lives can be better. So at what At what cost am I having boundaries? What are they for? And then another one is being selfish with yourself. A lot of people say this. And this is quite straightforward. Being selfish with yourself, there's no other way to be selfish other than being selfish. So when you're saying you're being selfish, is it really what you want? Is it really what you are putting out there in the atmosphere around your people, your family, your friends, your peers, your colleagues? Are you really choosing to become a selfish person? So what are your intentions when you are saying, I'm becoming more selfish with myself? That's very blatant and very straightforward. Becoming selfish. Imagine if you had a friend and they chose to become selfish. What does that mean for you? I mean, we're friends, I'm out here looking out for you and you're looking out for me. Next morning, you're deciding to be selfish. What exactly does that entail? What does it look like for those around you? What does it look like for you? And then another one is, so I've mentioned cutting people off. Guys, I know we mean well. Like, I believe that we mean well when we say these terms and when we talk about these things. And they're becoming more prominent people are advocating for all of these terms. And I'm saying it's not bad given that your posture, your heart posture is in the right place, given that your mentality and your intentions are not malicious and they're not to self-serve. And also, if everyone is saying, I'm not doing it because it's not serving me, who's doing the serving? So if we're all saying, oh, it's not serving me, who's supposed to serve you and your desires and your purpose and what you stand for? If you're saying, oh no, it's not serving me, who must do the serving if we can all just wake up tomorrow and decide, it's not serving me, I'm not going to be a part of it? Who's going to do the serving? And also I feel like the greatest form of love is sacrifice. This is just what I believe. The greatest form of love is sacrifice. So if I love my friends, I'm going to sacrifice my time, my resources, my money, my mental health at some point. But and also this is where I come in and I say, I agree in having these terms being put out there, only given the fact that we are having them to make sure that we are giving ourselves space to self-equip and self-evolve. So there's a notion where people say you can't pour from an empty cup. So that I believe and that I advocate for 100%. But if you're just going to be selfish for you, really for you, then I'm questioning your character. Like, really, you're going to have me questioning your intentions in life. And also, it's not the material things that are fulfilling. So if I'm being selfish towards my friend or my family or my peers, what is going to give me fulfillment? Then what am I living for? What do I want to get out of life if I'm just going to be selfish with my resources for the sake of keeping them to myself? Because it's not the material things that give us life or that give us real fulfillment. You gain when you see someone else growing or becoming a better version of themselves because you sacrificed something for them. You sacrificed your money and you make sure that they were able to register and get at school. You sacrificed your time so that they can be heard when they are hurting. It's very fulfilling to be a sacrifice. And also I understand that a lot of people can take advantage of that. A lot of people do take advantage of people and their resources and their time. That's where I come in and I say, okay, that's where the boundaries come in, but they come in with the right heart and with the right mindset. When you're saying, I'm going to have these boundaries, I'm going to put myself forth so that I can be able to be of more use, so that I can be of more value, so that I can be more available to the next person that needs me. So then that's granted and that's valid, and I think I concur with that. And then we also so I also want to look at where do these come from. It could be possible that we're in a generation where there's been a lot of traumatic experiences. Some people have gone through betrayal, like real bad betrayal, where they found themselves hitting rock bottom, they lost their stuff, they lost themselves even. So if someone has that background or has that experience, you find that they'll be more drawn to draw back or to not give more of themselves because they have an experience where they gave it their all but they didn't receive anything in return, or they received harm, or they were hurt, or something negative came out of them being of service to someone else. also we've got, social media, and everything is happening out there in the limelight, where everyone has an instant experience. And I think the times that we're living in also just magnify everything that we go through. So it could be possible that we're living in times where, because we are a very social media inclined generation, everything is just out there, it's happening now, very fast paced, you find that it's very difficult to really get around what's happening to you, to really navigate your traumas. And also it's trauma after trauma, it's trauma after trauma. So you find that a lot of people then struggle to really be of service to the next person, because they're just trying to really make it. They're just trying to survive. They're just trying to get out of this traumatic experience. And, and that's really valid. And I agree with that. And I say, hey, take time for yourself, heal, do what you need to do to get to a better space for yourself, but also so that you can be able to really be of service and be of value to the next person once you have healed and, you have overcome whatever tragedy or something that has happened to you. But I just don't believe that we're just going to have to be selfish and cutting people off and setting boundaries for the sake of setting boundaries, unless we are not careful, that we're going to become a very cold, lonely generation. People are just losing friends. It's very easy now to just lose a person and replace them with another. Unfortunately, life doesn't go like that. You might find that the person that's your friend today is the only person that's going to be there for you like your friend is there for you today. So imagine if something happens and we have a misunderstanding with my friend, and I'm just like, I'm cutting them off. And I'll never be able to replace them. You can't replace people. And that's one thing I think we are taking for granted. You can't replace character, personality, someone just being them towards you. You can't. It's very difficult. I don't know. I'm not going to say you can, because I don't believe in that. People, we are here unique for a specific purpose. You can't replace another person. You'll just have to find someone else who can really maybe just come in and filter in somewhere where you need them. But we can't replace people. And I think we're having this notion or idea that we can just replace people. And I think the corporate sector has a very, very good trend of doing that. Just like, oh, you don't like this job. No, you are replaceable. You don't agree with us. Oh, no, we can replace you though. So I don't believe that's real life. That's how real life works. You just cannot replace people, because they are unique and they come in and they bring a specific benefit towards you. So imagine cutting someone off that was meant to be with you for life, that was meant to contribute to your life for the rest of your life, And also, are we measuring that? Are you measuring that when you're considering people that you're going to set boundaries for or towards? Are you considering, is this person really my lifetime person? Is this really relationship supposed to be a lifelong relationship? Or maybe the season has come where we just have to end and part ways? Because I also believe in that there's a season for everything. Some friends and some relationships are seasonal, but some people are for life. And that's where the danger of having these notions and these terms and having this mentality engraved in our minds comes in. That's where the problem comes in. You might be cutting off your lifetime soulmate. And I mean this in any relationship, not in romantic relationships. I'm not talking about romantic relationships here. This could be your lifetime helper that God has sent for you. And then here you are, just be like, I'm cutting people off, setting boundaries, don't want anyone near me, this and this. No, guys, I don't believe in that. And also, I think we should strike a balance between self-love in order to be able to love others. So this can go in two ways. If you love yourself enough and you are still staying in a toxic relationship, that could also be a pointer for you that you actually do not love yourself enough. Because if someone gets you through a traumatic process, or someone constantly shows or proves to you that they are not really who you would like them to be, or they just they are just not good for you, your growth, your life, and what you intend to be in life, then those people, if you keep that type of person in your life, that could really question your self-love. Because if you love yourself, you will love yourself enough to remove yourself from people that are not contributing towards your growth. But also, you should be able to evaluate that first. Evaluate whether, obviously if you give someone a chance, if something goes wrong and I gave you a chance today, goes wrong, something goes wrong tomorrow or another, like we have constant episodes where you and I are clashing and it just seems like our journeys are not aligned, then I need to love myself enough to let you go because you are not contributing anything that's of benefit to my journey. So there's a bit of a difference here, and I don't want you to think I'm conflicting myself. I think self-love is beneficial when it is feeding your growth so that you can help someone else grow. But you can't just cut people off for the sake of being selfish and putting yourself first and loving yourself. So also, toxic traits. Also another word, toxic, right? I feel like this word is being thrown around now. Very common, it's becoming like a common word. Oh no, they were toxic. Oh no, my job is toxic. Everything is just toxic, toxic, toxic. I think there are toxic people. There are people with toxic intentions in our lives. They come in all spheres. And I think that's where we need to be mindful of those people and being around those people. If someone is toxic, and they've proven themselves through your experiences around them, and they've proven themselves to be toxic for you and for your journey and for your growth, then by all means remove yourself, because that's not going to help you in any way. That's not going to help you grow. It's not going to help you become the next the better version of yourself. It's not going to help you become what you want to become. So that person, you can just remove yourself from their presence and just move on with life. We can't accept toxicity in terms of being accommodating or in the name of being lenient, and toxic is toxic. And I think we are coming close to an end. I think our differences also, I think we should also look at how are we resolving our differences. In this day and age, are we becoming common let-goers? Are we really able, or have we been taught to be able to be conflict resolvers? Are we really taught or trained to be conflict resolvers? Because this also can be a contributing factor to why we are just quick to cut people off or just set boundaries or just let go of this friendship and move on to the next one, because maybe the problem is we are struggling to self-correct, one, because there's also a contributing factor to someone doing something wrong to you. There's also something that you did. You also played a part in some way or another. And I think maybe, are we able to self-correct at this point? Are we trained to self-correct and then to be able to conflict resolve amicably, healthy? Are we able to face the next person and say, actually, I think I was wrong. I apologize. Can we start over again? And really face where our root causes lie in terms of us, being triggered to just let go. Because it could be that the problem is with me, it's not with you. I'm cutting you off because I wasn't trained or taught to conflict resolve. I wasn't taught to let go of my pride and say, I'm sorry, can we resolve this? Or I was wrong in this. Even if it works out for good or if it doesn't, but I was still able to resolve that matter before I let go or move on. And I believe in reciprocity. Did I say that right? Reciprocity. Yes, that's the word. I think if someone doesn't reciprocate what you are putting out there, that could also be a sign or a flag to be like, maybe this is not working as I intended, or maybe this is not where I'm supposed to be. Because it's a different story when you are putting yourself out there, being of service, sacrificing for this person, sacrificing for this organization, for this company, but you are getting nothing in return that's going to help fuel you so that you can be able to give of yourself again. So in that case, I think that's where you should really consider and let go if you need to, because if someone doesn't reciprocate the same energy towards you, or if you give so much love and so much attention and consideration and your resource, you're just giving. You keep on giving and it's just being taken. Nothing is given back to you to fuel you back or to revive you so that you can be able to give again tomorrow. Then I think that's not a space that's really conducive for you or your growth, no matter how much of a giver or of a lover you are. If someone is just out there to exploit you, please move. please move, because that's a waste of time, that's a waste of resources, that's a waste of your growth and what God set you on earth to do, you know. So I think we should really ponder on these topics and all these notions that we have just roaming around. Just be careful before you hop on a trend and you say, oh no, I'm also cutting someone off. Oh no, I'm also setting boundaries. What does it mean to you? And what is it doing to you? Is it making you more selfish in a very bad way? Or is it helping you become a better version of yourself? Is it helping you grow? What is it really doing for you if you are just going to throw those terms? And also everything that we put out there, if you speak something, if you say something with your mouth, if you spew a word, if you say something, you are putting it out there in the atmosphere, and it's already going to set the tone for your life and your lifestyle. So really consider before you hop on trends, what do they mean? Where do they come from? What position do they stem from? For someone who's advocating for it, listen to what they mean when they speak about them before you also hop on it, and then you decide, I'm cutting people off, because it could mean something very negative for you, and you could turn out to be someone that you didn't intend to become, but it's because we're just gonna, you know, take on trends and see what's working for the next person, and then I'm going to apply it to my life. No, if I don't have to cut anyone off in my life, I don't have to cut anyone off. And if I do, I need to. But it's because I have. Also, on the last episode, we spoke about, you know, what are your true convictions? If this is really my truth and my conviction, then I will make decisions knowing why I'm making them, and also they will work for me and they will help me to be a better version of myself. And that's what I always advocate for. We are all out here just trying to be better versions of ourselves without stepping on people's toes and making life miserable for the next person. I think we can all just make it. We can all just thrive. We can all just become what we were meant to be. There is enough room for all of us. Wherever you want to be, whatever you want to do, there's enough room for you. You don't have to let go of this person. You don't have to do things that are out of character. You don't have to become mean and bitter and just becoming that negative person. We all have room. We all have room for growth. We all have room to make money, to live the lavish life that we want. We just have, there's all room. There's room for love. There's room for friendship. There's room for peace. There's room for growth. We just have enough of everything. I think we have enough of everything. And don't let the system fool you. They'll tell you we've got a short set of this, we've got a short set. Everything is just like short. We're running short. Everything is scarce. Everything is just not in abundance. No ways. No ways. This generation is here for a specific reason, and you and I are here for a specific reason. There is room for us. If you can wake up tomorrow breathing, there's room for you. You can become anything you want to become without being manipulative, hating, bitter, toxic, as we say, toxic, without cutting people off, without, you know, setting boundaries, just building walls around you. Imagine, now you're cutting yourself out of your benefit, out of the next opportunity for you. You have boundaries. I get it, you have boundaries when you don't want people to come near you. Now you're setting boundaries for your growth. You're setting boundaries from people that are here to help you, your destiny helpers. Let's consider, you know, let's consider. And I think that's all from me today on, what are we going to call it? What are we going to call this episode? Maybe setting boundaries or cutting people off, cancel culture, whatever you want to name it. Let's name it. And I think it's all I have for you today on this episode. Please like, please subscribe, leave your perspective as well. What has made you cut people off? Tell me, put it on the comment section. Oh no, I had to cut some people off because of this and this. Oh, I had to set boundaries because. Let me know what has caused you to hop on these trends, cancel culture. Why do you believe in it? Let me know. I'd love to hear from you. You know, I'd love to hear your perspective on everything that we've touched on today. And yeah, until the next time, and please subscribe, like, comment, share. This episode is going to be available on YouTube and all podcasting platforms that are listed. Yeah, man, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I love you. Till next time, goodbye.